Welcome to Geektionary. My name's Corey Hales, and this is the geekiest podcast you'll probably ever hear, where I will try to teach you, along with my friends, about the nerdier things in life. Let's talk about it. Whatever. But anyway, so this is episode X for X-Men. This is not the penultimate episode. That's next episode.
Dun dun dun.
Had to work that stupid word in. I'm here with Gavin.
Hello, hello.
I've been told by my sort of boss of the radio station to not always be talking to friends, and Gavin is more just a good acquaintance at this point.
To become a friend.
Yeah, exactly. This is early. This is getting to know each other stuff. So
exactly.
He was nice enough to do the X-Men thing. The original guest was someone that had been on before and wanted me to have a new original guest because she knows that sounds better.
An original guest. Is there something? Is there an original guest?
Well, I just mean like you haven't been on any of the episodes before. So
yes.
Yeah, she'd been on. This was Angela from episode H, the Harry Potter one, and she'd have been happy to talk about this, but she. Okay, so Gavin's also playing Skyrim, and he just beat the shit out of a Draugr, which
I hate these things.
Everyone has seen, but X-Men.
X-Men, yes, X-Men,
yeah.
Mutants.
X-Men was just to start it all off was created by Stan Lee and Jack Kirby.
Good old Stan Lee.
Yeah.
Congratulations, Stan Lee. Sorry, on your 90th birthday.
Oh shit, when was that?
A couple months, or last month, I think, but so 90 years old.
That would have been December. Jesus.
He's 90.
You know, there's these actors and people that are called, like, the world's greatest... Like, who is the guy who was in, He had the mustache, he does the diabetes commercials?
Diabetes.
Yeah, that guy.
I don't know, but I know who you're talking about.
I should know this. Like, he's a famous actor, and, like, he's generally considered the world's greatest grandpa. Simply because, look at him. And listen to him.
He looks like a grandpa.
I think Stan Lee is the new world's greatest grandpa. Simply because, like, you see him, he's 90 years old, you see him dealing with people that asks the same questions for, okay, X-Men was out in September 1963, their first appearance was...
63?
63,
wow.
Yeah, so that has been...
Almost 50...
No, it has been 50 years as of this year, I think.
Wow.
But yeah, so the thing is, he's been being asked the same questions. Like, let's say it took 5 years before X-Men and Spider-Man and the Hulk and the Fantastic Four and every other amazing thing he created.
Yes.
Let's say it took 5 years for that to become popular. That's 45 years of people asking the same questions. And if you ever see him talking to people, he's always so fucking thrilled. Just like, he's like, I'm so happy, Excelsior!
Which him saying that makes me laugh absolutely hilarious. Excelsior!
Or when he says, "Nuff said." And because no one can say either of those words and sound legitimately kind of awesome except for him. He's just... Stan Lee's awesome.
Yes, Stan Lee is awesome.
Yeah, so the whole idea of the X-Men, and most people should know this, even if they don't read the comics, they've seen the movies, they know about
they've seen the bad movies.
The first one was okay. Second one, not as good. Third one, terrible.
Third one, terrible, mainly for the fact that they rushed so much into the storyline. They went straight to Phoenix.
Yeah,
and it's like...
And the guy that played Cyclops, you could tell that he didn't really want to do the movie, and he's just like, I'll do it, except I want to die early on.
Yeah.
I want to get out as soon as I can.
Yeah, it's like, hey...
No, I was going to say who I thought that was, but I was going to say...
not James
James?
James Marsden.
That's it, yes.
James Marsters is Spike, because he's awesome. James Marsden is Cyclops.
Yeah, I was going to say James Marsters, too. That's crazy.
Yes, it is, because James Marsters is awesome. Because whenever anyone thinks of Marster, they think of Spike.
Yeah, exactly.
They think of Spike
from Buffy.
From Buffy and Angel.
Yeah, so anyway, the whole premise of X-Men is that in response to increasing anti-mutant sentiment, Professor Xavier creates a haven at his mansion to train mutants to control their powers and use them to benefit humanity. Which is a good idea.
Yes, despite the fact that Professor X kind of seems like a creeper.
Yeah,
he's a creeper, he's a pedo in a wheelchair.
He's also, in the original series, do you know how many times he quote-unquote died to motivate his team?
Are we talking like 90s
I'm talking about,
TV show?
I'm talking about like the actual comic series. We're far too young to have read them, but
yes.
He faked his own death so many times, and he did all sorts of crazy, cruel shit. Like, there's cracked articles upon cracked articles.
Upon cracked articles.
That you could read about how the X-Men, and specifically Professor Xavier, is batshit insane. He had good intentions.
Good intentions, but like the character itself, the character of Xavier was like good, and like his goals and everything were valid. It was just
was he ever really a professor of anything, or did he just claim that title?
I think he was a professor of like
genetics.
Okay. I think because this is layover to X-Men First Class. He was like they do in that movie. They do mention that he was getting his doctorate in genetics. And like not future genetics, but like advanced cellular genetics and stuff like that. So I could see him getting that. But in terms of like, I'm a professor of sociology and zoology and all this other stuff.
See, the thing is I work with doctors regularly. They are not people persons. You know what I mean? They're not good with people for the most part. And he went into fucking genealogy. How many times do you deal with anyone in that field?
But then again, this guy can also read your mind.
Yeah, but
so there's his entire social interaction right there.
Which is one, cheating, and two, you don't get the quote unquote real person out of reading their mind.
Interaction.
You just become like constantly peeking at test sheets and stuff. But like he used to.
Be good, kids. Xavier's watching you.
Yeah,
No, I'm not.
So
floating around
creepy.
beside your head.
Yeah. Ugh. The original group of people that he got for his X-Men were Cyclops, Iceman,
yes,
Angel, Beast,
yes,
and Marvel Girl.
Yes.
And Marvel Girl originally wasn't she just telekinetic, but because Professor X, because of his constant mental stuff, opened up her telepathy.
Well, did he actually do that in the original comic strip?
Yeah. He was constantly like sending messages, and always specifically with her, since she also had the mental, the telekinetic, the mental mutant
capacity.
Power. Yeah, so it opened.
Because seriously, anyone that's not like mentally capable to deal with a creepy old man in a wheelchair constantly talking to your head is gonna have something wrong with you.
Hey, he's just about to go to sleep. Hey, Gavin, are you asleep yet?
Hey,
have you seen Django Unchained yet?
I haven't seen Django Unchained yet.
Just like, fuck off, Professor.
Go away, I'm trying to sleep.
I'll watch it tomorrow. It's 3 in the fucking morning.
So yeah, it's a little creepy.
Of the original roster, who do you think was who's your favorite?
Of the original, I would have to say Beast.
Me too.
Just because, not like the Beast in the new movie, in First Class was very well done.
Mm-hmm. Underused.
Underused, yes, especially for the fact that he.
Frasier. It was the guy that plays Frasier.
It was the guy that no in First Class.
Oh, First Class.
The one when he was a teen, like the one. Yeah, Frasier, Kelsey Grammer as Beast did okay. But I wanted to see very underused because you see him for what 30% of the movie, and then he
does one awesome thing.
One does like a couple things, awesome like flips and kicks things, and it's not even it's not Kelsey Grammer. If it was, I would give the man more credit.
I would have loved to see Kelsey Grammer even attempt.
I would have loved to see a Kelsey Grammer deleted scene where he's in a harness spinning around and being like, "This is awesome!"
I don't like this.
I don't like
and
this.
he'd sound brilliant while saying it. He just has that
good
voice.
Yes, but in terms of Beast, for like the first kind of introduction to the movies that he did, it was okay.
Yeah.
Beast in the First Class was awesome because it brought to light his mentality between his wanting to, like, his feet, basically.
Which his feet are essentially hands if you haven't seen the movie.
Yeah, if you haven't seen the movie, his feet are hands. Spoiler alert!
Big spoiler.
And he basically tries to cure himself of that, and as a result, he mixes...
He grows blue fur.
He grows blue fur and
looks
becomes...
kind of monstery.
Yeah, he looks more beast-like.
Yeah.
And
that happened in the original
that was cool.
comic.
In the original comic, it did happen, but in the movie, up until that point, he was
He was the human.
He was the human, and he was Beast.
Yeah, he was still.
It was great, but like as soon as he hit Beast, like I guess
once
Beast
he starts
mode,
looking beastly.
once he starts looking Beast mode, he becomes a pilot.
Yeah,
and
he's just
he like I can fly.
I don't want to go outside.
I'm badass looking. No. I'm fuzzy. I can tear Magneto's head off if I wanted to.
Yeah,
but I'm confined to a jet.
Yeah. Doesn't he do one thing other than fly the jet when he becomes it? Like he jumps at someone or something. Like
I know that when Xavier's training him, he like Beast like laps him around.
That I call bullshit on because Beast was not super fast.
Wasn't super fast. But
he was stronger than normal, and he was super agile.
Stronger and but he also had like the Beast like. The feral mentality as well.
But that doesn't make you.
That doesn't make you run faster.
No. Like,
but cool in the movies. Not so much in terms of lore.
Yeah, I really did enjoy that in that movie. They started out with him in this more human-looking form.
As bad. It's not. That movie wasn't bad.
I liked First Class.
First Class was good. Mm-hmm. It felt like that's kind of what. A couple of the other X-Men movies should have been.
Yeah. I think they're going to be making a new bunch of movies based off of First Class,
and I hope it's good. I
enjoyed First Class. Yeah,
X-Men fan.
I enjoyed First Class enough to want to see more of that specific incarnation.
Sneak peek, or not sneak peek. Mm-hmm. What do you think the new Wolverine's going to be like? Have you seen one of the trailer or the pictures for it?
No, not a lot.
It's him sitting on top of one of the golden
Buddhas.
Not one of the Buddhas, but on top of one of the eagles on the Chrysler Building.
Oh, cool!
On like the corner of that, and he has like a katana, like in one hand, and his claws extended in the other, and it's like in a black backdrop with like a rainy thing. It looks. Haven't seen anything about it, but looks cool.
When they first brought up that movie, I heard that it was going to be entirely in Japan and entirely like him as a samurai type dude. I think it starts.
I think it starts kind of in like in the States, and then like just right at the beginning because like he is right when he loses his memory, and which by the way if you're a big Wolverine fan. Or no, rather, if you're a big Deadpool fan, do not watch Wolverine Origins or whatever because they butchered Deadpool.
They made him so upset. Thing is, if someone listening to this knows who Deadpool is, they've seen the movie and they've been outraged.
For those of you that are listening that know this or that have seen that movie, I share your anger.
It's so bad.
So bad. He did not get his cake that morning.
No. The X in X-Men, everyone always thinks, Professor Xavier. No, apparently. It's supposed to refer to the power-giving X gene that all mutants have.
The X chromosome
which
or whatever.
I think Xavier named as well.
Yeah, well, really, it's kind of like an ego trip. What should I have my team be? Should I make mention of their X chromosome that makes them superhuman? No, well, yes, but let's also name it after me. Why? Because my name starts with an X.
What a lovely coincidence. It originally early on it meant extra power, which normal humans lacked, which I don't think has the punch of either like this is Professor Xavier's men or these are the X gene people, I
think it was just a catchy name with a bunch of meanings behind it.
Yeah.
Though then again, in 1965 or 1963 when it first started, this would have been brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God! Yeah. Look at
he's talking about genetics.
That's so cool. Yeah. What are those? What can he do?
Yeah,
especially when Iceman was a giant like walking snowman.
Yeah, that was so stupid. But
it was, but. Still, it's not.
A new idea. Yeah.
It's not now.
No.
Which is what a lot of people in our generation know of now.
Yeah.
But like, I have a lot of friends. I'm like, oh no, I remember reading the original X-Men in like 1975. I'm like, really? He's like, yeah, it was awesome. I'm like, cool. Okay.
Yeah. The one thing I really liked about the X-Men, like the early run, was that their first real villain was Magneto and his Brotherhood of Evil Mutants.
The Brotherhood of Evil Mutants.
It seems like an easy pick because they're completely the antithesis to Professor X's things. They thought that mutants were superior and should be treated as such.
Yes.
They were the master race essentially, and
it's a mutant version of the Nazis.
Yeah, the thing was though, if you want people to think, oh, these people should be worshipped and such, why would you call yourself evil? Just right off the bat, it's like you're setting a bad first step.
Exactly, especially since it's the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants.
Yeah.
It's not just the Brotherhood of Mutants, because if it was the Brotherhood of Mutants, that could have been like all of them.
Yeah.
Evil mutants, air quote.
Yeah.
Is gonna cause some trouble.
Like the thing is, you could let's say the Aryan Brotherhood. It's again brothers. It's not the Aryan Brotherhood of evil. They are, but they don't say, "Hey, we're evil." They're just.
Then again, also the name kind of the Aryan Brotherhood. Well, with the connotation that everyone knows them now, that kind of.
Yeah, and X-Men also, originally the whole thing was like a metaphor for racism and sexism, and the X-Men were a symbol of equality, just like the original Star Trek, with the Americans working with the Russians and the Japanese and the blacks.
To be truthfully honest, I never saw the Star Trek.
Well, you know Sulu and Chekhov and Uhura.
My name is Chekhov.
Yeah. The thing is that up until that point, that was unheard of, and so that's another reason why the X-Men were so kind of groundbreaking.
I cannot wait for the new Star Trek movie. That's just me.
Looks so
good. I don't know if it is him, but if it is,
I don't think it is.
No,
but it is Benedict Cumberbatch, which is amazing.
Benedict Cumberbatch,
which is a great name.
Benedict Cumberbatch. What person would name their kid Benedict Cumberbatch?
A British person.
Oh, good point.
Yeah, the original Brotherhood was obviously Magneto, Quicksilver, Scarlet Witch, his children. Quicksilver super fast. Scarlet Witch could change probability. Toad could jump.
Not just probability, reality.
Yeah, originally it was just probability. But then through training and stuff, she became way too powerful.
Not even through training, just through rewriting.
Oh yeah, retconning and retconning.
Just people, just like new writers and stuff being like, let's have a storyline where Scarlet Witch alters the world.
Yeah. The other character in Brotherhood was Mastermind, who was kind of their answer to Jean Grey. Except the thing is, all he could do was essentially put up. He could make himself look like other people, make people see things that weren't there. Basically,
yeah, he was an illusionist, wasn't he?
Yeah, that's it. That's a loserness is what I heard.
He was an illusionist, wasn't he?
Yeah, he had powers of illusion.
Yeah, likes to mess with people.
Yeah,
stupid people. I did not like Mastermind. Then again,
I take him or leave him. I say.
Wasn't Blob a part of the first?
Not originally. He was. He became one of the longest members because I always liked the Blob too.
I do too.
Yeah,
I like him in
the cartoon, right?
The cartoon,
90s one. Yeah,
and the newer X-Men Evolution.
Yeah, where they're in high school.
Yeah. That one,
I like that show.
For an X-Men fan, that was a pretty decent show. Like it had a good kind of twist to the X-Men genre because it was the X-Men
at public school,
in high school, and it's like a lot of the time in the movie you don't see, or not in the movie. In the movie you don't see that, mainly for the fact that they're the teachers and they're the ones that have gone through it. So it was a really interesting take on what the people or what the X-Men and the students.
And it also helped.
Were going through as kids.
Yeah,
and it helped kind of create a bigger fan base.
Yeah, it also just was a thing that helped show the discrepancy. Well, the tension between normal human beings and mutants.
Yeah,
and when
overall. Good series.
Oh yeah. I think I've seen all of it. But anyways,
continuing on, moving forward, we're going off on tangents. Unfortunately, that's because we do.
That's what always happens in these shows. Don't worry about it. I'm going to name some notable X-Men. You tell me if I'm missing anyone. All right?
Oh, excellent!
These are just to me these is far from all of them. I did a count. I tried to count. There's over 115 characters that have been in the X-Men.
That have been labeled the X-Men?
No. That have been in the X-Men team proper. I'm not counting X-Factor and X-Force and Generation X.
Oh, and X Investigations and all that stuff?
Yeah. This is just X-Men.
Oh, was this off of a website?
Yeah, Wikipedia.
Was this one of those tests where it was 150 of them?
No, there's here is a list.
There is a list there's a thing online. One of my friends linked me, and it was how many X-Men can you name on all the teams? How can you fill out the teams? And it's all the X-Men teams.
Yeah, that's
all
nuts.
Empty, and you have to basically fill them. It's a big spider.
That's a huge spider.
I don't like you.
Okay, so Notable X-Men.
Notable X-Men. All right, let's go.
Okay, so Wolverine, obviously.
Yes.
Storm.
Yes.
Colossus.
Yes.
Nightcrawler.
Yes.
Rogue.
Fuzzy Blue Man.
Yeah.
Rogue is... yes.
Shadow Cat.
Yep.
She's really notable now.
Now she is, yeah, because the Brood...
and her...
plot with them.
Yeah, she was huge, and she also just, recently there's basically a giant gun was shot at the Earth, and she made the entire thing intangible, but the force of it made her essentially unable to communicate or regain, tangibility. Yeah, she's back to normal now.
I have not read that.
This was a year or so ago.
I haven't kept up with the X-Men comics in 5 years.
I only pick up a trade now and then.
I really... apparently you can torrent all of them, which makes me kind of want to.
I would.
Note, I'm not promoting pirating, but if... Actually, no. That's a lie. I'm promoting pirating if it's for you. If you download it, read it, and delete it, there you go. I'm fine with that.
I've always had an issue with pirating like comics because for some reason, to me, it's such an emotional thing. I've been collecting them for like 17 plus years. So, anyways, the other 3 that were on the list was Emma Frost. Kate.
Oh!
She's a good
She
man
is
now.
an X-Men, especially in like Ultimate and all that stuff after Jean Grey dies. And
she's the new and Cable and Gambit.
Missing one.
Who would you add?
Banshee.
I like Banshee a lot too.
Banshee was a part of one of the teams.
Yeah, he was a part of all of the teams, pretty much. Yeah,
until he got older
and died. He's dead now. Yeah. And
tell me old age.
No, I think he was shot or something like that.
He is not Captain America. Captain America was shot and brought back to life. Remember?
Let Banshee get shot. It happens to the best of people.
That is true.
Martin Luther King was shot.
Actually, wasn't How did we go from an Irishman to a black man?
Well, he was a good man, and he got shot.
Yes,
Banshee
he did.
was a good man.
Banshee
he was a good Scottish man.
He was.
With a Scottish
daughter.
With a
very, very high pitch
shriek that could make him fly.
Which was all kinds of weird to me.
Well, it makes sense in a way, but
it does, because I could understand like the
sound bouncing off the ground.
The propulsion and reflect,
and first class. It's explained.
Yeah,
he's got the sound.
It is, but it's
explained poorly.
It's not explained poorly. It's just in my mind, it never really balanced out to he should be able to fly by rebounding his voice. Yes and no, but to me it was just like, okay, this guy has a voice that can knock down a building. Let's use it to fly.
Well, if he can knock down a building, why can't he fly?
Touche, sir.
Damn Skippy.
But then again, Colossus can do that too when he can't fly.
Who?
Colossus. He can knock down a building. He can stop a moving train.
If he jumped, he could probably jump super far.
He is not the Hulk.
The Thing does it too. The Hulk, the Thing. Colossus, super strong.
No. The Hulk can do it because gamma powered.
No, because of the strength of his legs.
Thing can do it just because he's a fucking rock. Because really, you get a rock moving, not much. And Juggernaut just can't be stopped.
Yeah, the thing is, it's all about muscles with those guys. So if they can do it, Colossus could not as well. I'm not saying.
Yeah, he can't.
I'm not saying he'd be leaping
miles
cities like the fucking Hulk. No.
That's the one thing I always liked about the PS2 Hulk games or the Xbox games.
Yeah.
You could just fucking jump a building.
I liked them, but I always felt they were lacking. They started becoming really samey and that you had to do the same thing over and over again.
They were I don't know. I only played one. I only played the demo, and I just really liked the fact that I could jump.
Yeah.
You squat,
it's satisfying,
charge for 3 seconds, and you shoot 180 feet up.
Oh, it's so good. Yeah.
I can grab a helicopter out of the air.
Mm-hmm.
What? Yeah. Oh, nostalgia, you fickle bitch.
Some notable enemies. Besides Magneto and them.
And
the Brotherhood.
Magneto
and them. The Sentinels, which I think are the most iconic villain.
Oh, the Sentinels. I remember the
giant
first
hunting robots.
First time I saw the TV show.
From the 90s.
From the 90s. It was the one episode
Rise of the Sentinels, probably.
With Jubilee.
So every episode... Oh, wait, no.
Right at the very beginning where she blows up the mall.
Yeah.
And they come in through the mall. And that was the first time I ever saw the TV show, and I was maybe 9?
Yeah,
8 or 9?
I was about that age, too. I can't remember.
I have the first DVD.
Yeah.
I have the DVD of the first 13 episodes of that TV show.
Whenever I go to my comic shop, Another Dimension down in
Kensington. Another Dimension, kudos!
Good place. But, probably Probably the best place in the city to get comics.
What about Red Skull?
Red Skull's good too, except
it's American priced, isn't it?
It so does Another Dimension. The thing is, Another Dimension is it's been like that for at least a year.
I didn't know that. I knew Red Skull was always American priced. I knew
one of the reasons I like Another Dimension over Red Skull or Phoenix Comics is because of the organization. It feels more fluid. It's easier to find stuff.
It's dedicated to the comics and like helping people find what they're looking for.
And the people that work there are really cool, really nice. This is turning into an advertisement for.
Doesn't matter if we can get them business. Yeah. Kudos to them because I love it and I wish I had money.
Yeah, I when I do have regular paychecks, I'm there every Wednesday. Yeah. New Comic Day. Anyway,
New Comic Day. Continue
on. Apocalypse.
Oh, bloody Apocalypse!
Yeah, another huge story arc from the cartoon.
And the comic too.
Yeah, and Mr. Sinister, who is usually a bit more enigmatic. I always liked him, but he's not often there. But when he does show up, he does a lot of damage. You know,
he's one of those scheming, hide in the shadows,
Machiavellian type.
Yeah, he's the kind of romantic he's the romantic villain where it's like. Yeah. I'm gonna plot this and wait for the exact time to unleash hell.
Even though you know I'm a bad guy, even when I'm around, you don't know where you stand.
Yeah. Then again, and then there's like the Four Horsemen.
Yeah, that's part of Apocalypse.
That's part of Apocalypse. Yeah.
They're always different and always interesting.
Always different, always interesting, but always the same four.
Yeah. Well, obviously.
Indubitably.
Because it's war, pestilence, famine, and death. But
Gambit was the most recent death. Gambit?
Yeah.
Gambit was the most recent death.
There was an X-Force arc recently where there were new ones.
Oh, because last time I remember reading it, Polaris was death. Mm-hmm. Or not, she was Pestilence.
Which is weird.
Yeah. And she was all like super powered and beefed up, and she had just absorbed Ebola and E. coli.
Yeah.
Like the not the WHO, the Center for Disease Control or whatever. CDC, yeah, and she'd entered there, and she was all wearing spiky armor and.
Yeah, so it looked like Penance.
Penance, the dude that
originally Speedball,
who didn't he end up killing? Didn't he end up wiping out a bus?
He was partially responsible for
Nitro, right?
Yeah. Nitro blew himself up, which caused the Stanford incident or whatever the fuck it's called. Which made a huge...
wasn't that...
Heroes need training. It started the Civil War.
Yeah, it also led to the registration, right?
Exactly. The Superhero Registration Act and all that stuff.
And the game, the Xbox game where you can decide...
Yeah. There's a role-playing game specifically set around the Marvel Civil War right now. Yeah. It's fairly new. I gotta do some more role-playing.
I do too.
I miss that. Anyways...
Getting off topic, back to X-Men.
Here are a bunch of teams that splintered off because of X-Men.
Yes. So, all right, teams.
Excalibur.
Yep.
Who was British.
And that's where Nightcrawler.
Nightcrawler he was there for a very long time. He wasn't originally part of that group.
He was there for a really long time.
Mm-hmm. Captain Britain.
Yep.
Megan.
Oh, Siren?
No, it was Megan. It was Meggyn. She was a fairy folk person who married Captain Britain. No.
Pixie.
Not Pixie. This is well before Pixie. Pixie's Welsh.
Yeah, but she pink hair, fluttery, acid trip visions.
Does magic.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not.
Is missing a piece of her soul.
Yeah, because of magic. Colossus' sister. This is
loophole.
Suddenly super deep.
Super deep.
Doing the research for this, I was thinking, there'll be a bit of information, then we can talk about certain story arcs. But, this is simply strictly basic information about X-Men, but since it's been around for about 50 years as of this year, it's so huge. It's such this massive mythos that it was created.
And it's spawned everything.
Oh, yeah, it's
it's movies, TV shows... Lunchboxes, video games, T-shirts, toys,
anything that exists, there is an X-Men thing of it.
Except Lego.
Nope, there is. Well, it's sort of Lego, but it's the mini block.
Mega Blocks or whatever.
No, it's not Mega Blocks. It's their own company, I think.
Yeah, it's like I know what you're talking about. I can't remember what it's called, but I think
Mini Mates.
That's the
Mini Mates. Yes.
Yeah.
So this is another team, Generation X.
Yes.
Which were cynical, complex teams that were supposed to reflect the generation that they were named after.
Yes.
And I fucking loved that series. I read it start to finish.
Read it.
I loved it so
much. That's
where
Jono.
Yep, that's
Starsmore,
where Jonathan Starsmore, Chamber was.
Missing his chest.
His chest and the lower part of his face is just consumed with fire. He's telepathic. He can shoot fire blasts and shit.
It's not even fire. It's like psionic fire.
It's plasma shit.
Like it's psionic plasma.
Yeah,
it's weird.
There was Skin who's in it. This guy who was born with too much skin.
6 feet extra skin.
Yeah, which was, since there's no nerve endings in it, he could stretch and swing. Not like Spider-Man level, but yeah.
Yeah. No, he's not Spider-Man.
Jubilee was in it still because she was finally being treated like an actual X-Men, even though she'd been on crazy adventures.
And now she's a
what?
She's a vampire.
Oh god.
Yeah, there's an arc. I don't know what it was called, but there was a story arc where Dracula moves into town, and the League of the vampire cult or whatever shows up, or the.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and Jubilee gets turned into a vampire, and so does Logan. Wolverine at one point.
Oh, Wolverine's been.
And then, but apparently, I don't know what I haven't heard anything, but from what I've heard last, she was still a vampire.
Crazy.
Which is just...
She lost her powers, she becomes a vampire. Jubilee has had a tough fucking life.
Well, everybody has had
but when she... Think about it specifically. When she joins the X-Men, her best friend is fucking Wolverine, who hates everyone, basically.
He's done that with a couple characters, though.
Yeah, but this was the first time he had a protege, sort of.
Yes.
And the thing is, she was, I think, 16, maybe 18 when she first joined them, and she's working with fucking full-grown adults. And doing full-grown adult stuff when she's just I want to go to the goddamn mall.
125 years old.
Yeah, and
been through almost every war known to man.
Oof, yeah.
And is like, oh, hey, yeah, we're gonna train. What? Excuse me?
This is the moving on. This is the newest group. Lights. Have you heard of them?
No.
Okay. Scott Summers' daughter from the future comes back with Cable. She's been trained by Cable. Hope Summers.
Is it Hope Summers?
What about? That's a different daughter from a different future.
I'm thinking of the Rachel.
Yeah,
Rachel Summers.
Different daughter from a different future. She's also a teacher now. But anyway.
Goddamn futures!
The thing about X-Men is that there are 75,000 fucking different futures, and they all are canon. They all happened. They all exist. But anyways,
at least it's not the Superman list or thread where. It was basically, we're gonna have all the worlds show up in one universe, all the multiple Earths or whatever.
That
was confusing.
Anyway, the lights
pretty cool because it was all the Supermans fought together to take down.
Yeah, that was cool. That was
everybody,
cool.
But it was just the image was the image that they had was just like, really. We have to have all 97 million different Earths in this one place.
Thing is, though, so many people will write stories and they don't want it to be in canon, or they want it to be canon, and other writers are like, that's silly. And it's what happens when you have a lot of people working on the same story, essentially.
Yes.
But so the
continuing on, lots of worlds, lots of people.
The Lights are the first New Mutants made since M-Day, which was when Scarlet Witch said no more mutants and
wiped out the world,
decimated the mutant population, brought it from. Well, I think they brought it down to about 1% of the population that were mutants.
25 or whatever it was.
Yeah, and the thing is, it's not like they were immediately turned back into human beings. They were, suddenly...
Some of them were.
The thing is, the Blob, who part of his ability was being as immense as he was, all that skin just started hanging off of him in folds.
Didn't...
Chamber, he lost... He did not have the thing
he
that was...
He didn't have his psychic fire, so he basically was in ICU. I remember I've seen a still, a comic still where he's in ICU and he's missing. He has tubes and stuff connected to him because he doesn't have a heart.
Yeah, there's this is just this is an example of it. This is just an unnamed character that was a side. They had.
If I only.
They were basically a dragon, and then they became human again. And just couldn't fly because flying was part of the power. It shouldn't have made sense. And she just collapsed to the ground and essentially exploded in the middle of New York. Ew. Yeah, just lots of death, lots of tragedy. Made the mutants an endangered species. So that's why the Lights are as important as they are. Whenever a new light shows up on Cerebro, the mutant detecting machine that they have,
giant brainwave thing.
Hope Summers goes with her team and helps them. When these new mutants are created, they have very little control of their powers, and it all happens all at once.
Oh.
So
not progressive.
Yeah, exactly.
Like the other ones were.
It's just like bam. So she needs to show up and help them to readjust. Like, just her power is essentially to take other people's abilities as well as calm down, help them get a bit.
Was
of control.
that the girl from M Day? The little girl that helped them all regain their memory after
from House of M.
Yeah, House of M.
I don't know actually.
No, her name was Lila.
Okay.
Because I remember because
she knows things.
Yeah, because Wolverine asked her, "Are you named after the song?" Yeah. What song? Never mind.
Yeah.
I love how he jumps off a freaking helicarrier, by the way.
So cool. So yeah, it's like one of the examples was there was one of the characters on the Lights team. I can't remember his name, except they thought his ability was super speed. She knew he was there when they went to the house where he disappeared, and she couldn't see him, but she could sense he was there, touched him, and what had happened was he'd been vibrating, like his power. He was vibrating that, and it was vibrating so fast no one could see him, and he was stuck like that. And time continues going for him at an accelerated rate.
Oh.
And so, essentially, he'd aged 3 years in the time that his mutation kicked in and the time she came and helped him.
Wow.
So, yeah, and...
hello, puberty!
Yeah, they thought it was super speed, except it's actually time manipulation to a very small degree. They tested that out by, go run on that water, so he tried and immediately splashed into the water. He's not going quickly.
He alters time.
Yeah, and it ages him every time he uses it.
Oh, that's a catch-22 power.
That's, it's...
Marvel, you suck!
Well, do you remember Maggot?
Yeah.
He was shitty. That's a catch-22 power.
He was shitty, but he was kind of cool at the same time.
He could remove his gut.
His intestines and his gut were basically living maggots.
Yeah, they leap out of his body, and then...
what were their names?
Oh.
Urky and Murky. Yeah. No.
Inky and Blinky?
No. Might have been Inky Blinky. No, it was like...
Tinky Winky. Poe?
Wink and blink and nod?
Yeah. It's stupid name.
Stupid name.
Yeah,
they were. It was like one of those like one of those names where you, I don't know.
They're rhyming silly, goofy
rhyming
names.
Silly name. Yeah, that's the one.
Like pish and posh, like something dumb. Anyway.
Watch, this will end and I'll further remember.
Another team was the New Mutants.
I think it is Urky and Murky.
Okay.
No, I think it is, yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, continuing on.
The New Mutants, who were simply X-Men in training, they were one of the first ethnically diverse original groups of the X-Men thing. What?
Santo.
Oh, yeah.
The guy that looked like a walking mountain that could dismember his body parts.
Oh, no, that guy, he's one of the newer characters. This is from, like, the 70s.
Okay.
This was Feral, it was Sunspot, Cannonball.
Oh, Cannonball.
Yeah.
Good old Cannonball. Let's
I liked Cannonball.
I did, too.
He essentially turned into a human rocket. Sam Guthrie.
The Guthrie clan.
Like, in Generation X, it was Paige Guthrie. Husk, yes.
Yeah.
Another team was the X Club. They're fairly new. They're the science team.
Oh, one of them, Nemesis?
No. One of them is Danger, the Danger Room given sentience.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, Nemesis. Yes,
Dr. Nemesis. The guy
Box.
Box, yeah.
I love Box.
He can make anything.
He speaks to machines, and he can essentially...
He's like Ford.
He's sort of, except he doesn't really... He just knows what he wants, and the machines kind of do it.
Yeah.
He also has a weird technophilia, which was recently mentioned in the most recent X Club trade that I read.
Okay, so I did not know he has a technophilia.
There's also a human scientist who's a genetics expert who found... Yeah. She's cool.
I know all the people because I'm on a website that follows like all the X-Men and
all
stuff.
comics everywhere.
Well, not so much all comics, but like all X-Men stuff.
Yeah, so you're...
And so I'm not... I don't read them, but I'm constantly aware of like.
You have an idea of what's going on. I have an idea of what's
going on from like people or like pictures that people link of like a character or whatever. So I know kind of what's going on, and so like I know one of them, Dr. Nemesis.
I like Dr. Nemesis a lot.
I do too. He's a creepy old man.
He's a crazy former maybe Nazi who
basically lives for science.
That's his battle cry, for science, and he's just an insane bastard. Like, he's just a jerk. He's constantly it's great.
One of the video or one of the pictures my friend linked me was Dr. Nemesis whispering to somebody, "Go up and tell her how her ass looks."
Yeah, that was.
I don't know who said it or who he said it to or whatever, but
he's just a prick. He thinks he's smarter than everybody. He's smarter than most people.
He is.
But the thing is, he's so arrogant.
He's arrogant because he's basically extended his life.
Yeah, through science. He made his eyes able to detect genetic anomalies by looking at people.
he's had time to do stuff.
The arrogance is deserved, but at the same time, like, don't be such a douche. There was the X Corporation.
X Corp, was that with
It was when the way it was described.
Was that like the darkish one?
No.
Because I know Wolverine was on a team.
No, he is. I'll get that's coming up.
Oh, okay.
The X Corporation it got to a point where there were so many mutants, the X-Men could only do so much, so they created essentially a not-for-profit business all over the world.
Oh, that could looked after help
mutants, teach mutants. Essentially, Professor X's dream actually made real.
Yeah, when it was all in like different cities, and it helped look
after Hong Kong and like fucking Brisbane and
helped look
Amsterdam.
After all the local and
you got a mutant power, go to the X Corp, and
here's the address, and they'll give you a hand, and they were all.
Then M-Day happened,
and then they all went kapoof.
Yeah. Oh, so, defunct.
Okay. Defunct. Damn you, Scarlet Witch. As awesome as you are a psycho.
Yeah. X Factor, who they were the original X-Men team. They called themselves the Exterminators. Their cover story was that they were human government agents that would hunt down mutants. But what they would do as X Factor, they would hunt down the mutants and then recruit them, put them somewhere safe so they could learn about their powers.
Yeah, they were mutant hunters.
Yeah. It was sneaky. Now it's a detective agency led by Multiple Man, another one of my favorite X-Men. When he does kinetic energy, so he could clap, and then another him will appear.
Multiple Man.
I love Multiple Man. I love him.
Multiple Man.
And it was a decent series. I fell off, but it had Multiple Man. It had Strong Guy, another one of my favorites. Simply because
I feel so bad for Strong Guy.
Yeah, he needs to constantly be like snapping and clapping because like if he doesn't, he just builds up more and more muscle.
I thought
it hurts him all the time.
Wasn't Strong Guy? He absorbed kinetic energy, and as a result, he got strength from the absorbed kinetic energy. Yeah, but if he absorbed too much, it starts doing physical damage to him.
Yeah, like his spine's all fucked up because of it.
His spine's like hunched over because his heart
his heart's
really
able
bad.
To pump.
And
He's
as awesome as he
is.
But
the thing is, he used to be. This was an awesome thing about that character. He was also a stand-up comic for a while.
He was.
Yeah, which is great. We're getting near the end of the time, so let me just get.
All right, let's get. There's too many tangents.
So X-Force is the paramilitary and assassination group led by Wolverine. Has Deadpool, has Phantom X, has Psylocke. X-23 for a while. It had that
Angel.
Yeah,
Did it have Archangel with his metal wings?
Started as Angel, turned to Archangel, turned to fucking Apocalypse. He was the new Apocalypse.
Oh.
And
wow, hello, loophole.
Awesome story.
I heard the story was good.
Yeah.
Haven't read it. Will I have to? Yes.
Totally worth it. Okay.
Next.
The X-Men have appeared in 12 animated shows. There was a 13th, but it only was a pilot and never lasted. It was Kitty Pryde, member of the X-Men. That was the name, something like that. Kind of dumb. X-Men from the 90s is the one that everyone knows.
If you're from the 90s.
Yeah. Such an amazing show.
Same with the Spider-Man.
Spider-Man 2.
Spider-Man 90s is awesome.
If you look
as bad as it was, as bad as the animation was.
Yeah, terrible.
Terrible. Now that we look at it, awesome.
4.5 movies. I'll explain the half in a second.
The half.
The 2000, 2003, and 2006 original series, then X-Men First Class. 2000 was the first one. 2003 was X2. 2006 was X3.
Yeah.
X-Men Origins Wolverine is the half because it was based off and blah blah blah.
It was Marvel associated and had
specifically X-Men
and had mutants.
Yeah, the
X-Men
full title was X-Men Origins Wolverine, which is Anyway, there might be a new Wolverine in 2013, possibly a Deadpool in some point.
I want Deadpool!
With Ryan Reynolds, not as the one from the Wolverine movie, as actual Deadpool.
Good.
Anyway, they've been in 22 video games, and that's just the X-Men games, like strictly X-Men. They've appeared in every Marvel video game. Even the Spider-Man ones, one will show up. They've been in a lot of books, and the last little thing, this is random. If you're a creep, go and find Irresistible Angel, Suck It All Up. It is a Japanese softcore porn parody of X-Men. That is about the show.
That is
thank
awesome.
You. Thank you, Gavin, for doing this.
Most welcome.
And this has been Geektionary.
Geektionary! Da 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 da!